Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Atha Ashtadashodhyayah. This is the last chapter, the 18th chapter in Bhagavad Gita, and Bhagavan Sri Krishna in this chapter is explaining about moksha through renunciation. And in the last few shlokas, he said about the three kinds of knowledge, and that knowledge which see the reality, which see the unity in diversity, that is the sattvika knowledge. And that jnana or knowledge which see different, that reality is divided, that knowledge is the rajasic knowledge. And that knowledge which see that divided reality is the whole, and that knowledge is the tamasic knowledge. Bhagavan Sri Krishna continues to explain about the three different types of action, karma, from the next shloka, that is from shloka 23. So, shloka 23, chapter 18 of Bhagavad Gita. Niyatam sangarahitam aragadveshatah kritam afala prepsuna karma yattat sattvikamochyate. That karma which is ordained, niyatam karma means that which is explained or ordained as in the scriptures, well explained in the scriptures. Sangarahitam, without any attachment for that job, karma, for that action. Some people will have favorite actions to do and some hate some actions to do. So, aragha adveshata, without any hatred or without any passion for that action, without any attachment to that action, a person who performs that type of action. And afala prepsuna, without expecting any fruit or the result of that action, that is very important. Without expecting any result of that action, that is just doing it as a karma yoga. Yet that sattvika muchyate, that type of action is said as the sattvika action. So that action which is as ordained in the scriptures, when not attached, not passionate about that action, not having any hatred or passion towards that action, not expecting the result of the action, that type of action is said as the sattvika action, sattvika karma. Yattu kamepsuna karma sahankarena va punaha kriyate bahulayasam tadrajasamudahridam. That action which is done kamepsuna, one longing for desires, that is, some will have very favorite actions to do, some will be so much interested in doing that action, passionate for that action. Sa ahankarena, when we perform an action, when we are very passionate about that action, then automatically we will have a pride that I did this. No one can do better than this. I am the only one who can do this action. Just like that, we will have many pride towards that action. That type of action. Kriyade bahulayasam, with much effort. Some people we have seen that they will be workaholic. They will do work all the time. Some factories or some shops, even shops we have seen, business establishments, they will work till 12 o'clock in the night, and the morning 8 o'clock they will open the shop. So much of workaholic people, so much of lot of effort they put to get that result. And all this work they do to get result, only desire oriented or result oriented. That type of action with a lot of egoism and pride, that action is said as the rajasika karma, rajasic action. Anubandham kshayam himsam anapeksha cha paurusham mohadarabhyate karma yat tamasa muchyate. So that action, karma, which is done without thinking about the consequences of that action, just doing that action instantly or with instinct, just doing that action. And kshayam, some people they run the business, but after some time they will run into loss because they do not care about that business or do not know the nuances of that work properly. So that is kshayam. Himsam, with causing injury to others and causing the injury to themselves. By doing that work they will have body pain, their own body pain. They will cause uncomfortable situation for the employees. Some businesses we have seen that they will come early in the morning, maybe 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, the employees. So they have to stand till the end of their work period, that is till 4 or 5 in the evening. So all the time they have to stand and do the work. So all these are uncomfortable situation for others as well as for themselves. Mohat, with too much of delusion, they are not clear about what they do, and that work or that institution or something that will go into kshayam, run into losses. Maybe, for example, their grandparents would have started this job, this company, or their parents would have started this establishment. When the children they run this, they just enjoy too much of luxuries and enjoy that profit alone, insulting everyone and hurting everyone by words. They run this business, and automatically after some time it will run into losses because no one will be favorable to accept their work. Even sometime they will start the business. Some people they start the business in the beginning, they will work very fine, but after some time they may not take care of it and it will run into losses. So all that type of work without any clarity is declared as tamasika, dark. This type of work is known as the tamasika karma. And Bhagavan Sri Krishna again he explains about the three kinds of karta, that is agent or the doer. Mukta sangonaham vadi dhrityutsahasamanvitaha siddhya siddhyo nirvikaraha karta satvika muchyate. That doer, that is the agent who performed this action, mukta sangha, he is free from all the attachment of that action. He will consider every action or work as his duty. He is not too much attached about it or do not hate it also. Naham vadi, that is, he will not have any egoism that only I did it, I can do it. And even though if he get a profit, he will share it with the people who worked with him, or the best is to give it to Bhagavan, to share it with the Bhagavan. You gave me this job, I am doing it for you, so this result is also yours, whatever it may be. So that is all that type of doers, or giving it to the people who work with him. Dhrityut sahasamanvitaha. There is one who has determined to do that work. So I have taken this work, it is my duty to complete it. That type of firmness, enthusiasm, dedication towards the work. That's what Bhagavan means. Complete dedication towards the work, what they do. And siddhya siddhya, that is, the result may be either positive or they may attain success or it may be negative. Whatever it is, they won't care. Nirvikara, they are not concerned about it, they are not affected by the result of that action. That type of karta is said as the satvika karta. So a person who doesn't have any hatred or passion towards any action, who do it with complete determination, dedication towards the work, who doesn't take any pride for that work, who is not concerned about the result of that work, just doing the duty is my prime thing. That's what they think. That type of karta is said as the satvika karta. Rage karma phala prepsu lubdho himsatmagho shuchihi harsha shokanvidah karta rajasa parikirtitah. So that type of doer who is ragi, passionate towards any particular action, karma phala prepsun, that is one who is only desire oriented. They do not have any motive. They work only for the profit. It is very common in today's time because all the business organizations, whether it is a small shop or a big mall or any company or anything, they just run only to gain money and profit because otherwise they cannot survive in this world. That's what they feel. So that type of action completely result oriented. Lubdha, that is, and that also they have that greediness, jealousiness to come into the first five companies only, then they can stay on in that business. Just like that, there are so many competition. So in business field or in everywhere, even running educational institutions, they have so much of competition. They want to make all the students get 100%. How is it possible? In that bargain, the quality of the education or the knowledge the student gains is reduced to a large amount. It is something to be very urgently to be looked into. In the sometimes back, even 20 or 30 years back, even though they have only 60 or 70 percentage of mark, they had wide knowledge. But now the students, they have 95, 96 percentage of mark, but their knowledge is only book knowledge. So that is something the educational system has to look into. So that type of work, completely result oriented, himsat, making the other person's also life difficult. As I said, just imagine about the students how much hard work and torture they have to undergo. So when we are result oriented, one and only result oriented, only cutthroat competition, they say, one and only result oriented, then we have to leave all our values, suffer a lot without any meaning or reason. Harsha shokhan even moved by a single word, whether the words of appreciation or if someone criticizes us, then completely we will be going into depression. So that affects our life itself. So that type of people who are so passionate and who are completely desire oriented, who work only for the result, without caring for the others, they make others also to work, and they torture their own body and mind in order to gain that profit. And they are easily moved by a single word of appreciation or insult. So that type of agent, karta, doer, is said as the rajasa karta. And Bhagavan Krishna now explains in the next shloka about the tamasika karta. Ayuktah prahrudastabdah shato naishkrudiko lasah vishadi dirghasutri cha karta tamasa muchyate. Ayukta means not steady, unsteady. They have one mind in one time, another mind in another time, and they say something wrong. And if another person pinpoints it, they will argue over it and they say, what I said is right. They themselves change their mind after some time. So they do not have a steady mind or a steady goal. Prakrita means any type, not a decent type of behavior. Stabdaha, very arrogant, not yielding to anything, and arrogant in the wrong matters. Just like I said, they will say something, and when someone pinpoint it, they will say, "No, I didn't say it." Like that, they will argue over that. but they never correct themselves. They are just interested in arguing. They won't allow anyone to change their mind, but they change their mind often. So, too much of stubbornness, arrogance. Shataha. Shata means they cheat anyone to get that profit. They are not clear about what they do. What they sometimes cheat people, tell lies. Somehow they want to reach the top. And Naishkritika means all type of very cruel words, or they just invite quarrel with others. By that way, they win over them and they say that, oh, I have won. So they invite quarrel with the people. It may be in the family or it may be in the office place also. Somehow they want to win. So, to such people, we cannot talk back or argue with them. So, we will keep quiet and they will win. So, like that type of people, alasa, that is too lazy to do any hard work or any right work, too much lazy. Vishadi, too much desperate or always in a very um, down mood. They always are seen with such a, they have so much of expectation, and when they are not satisfied they are always in that grief type of mood. And Bhagavan is telling in the next sloka also, the one who is dirgha sutri, they just postpone to do their work. Whatever work can be done with 1 or 2 hours, they will drag on to complete it for 1 day or 2 day. That type of people always in a desperate state of mind, depression, always worrying. No one can encourage them. Even if someone encourages them, they will find something bad in it and hold on to it. So such type of agent who performs that work is called the tamasika karta, tamasic karta. They are so adamant about everything. They spoil the future of others also. So that type of people are tamasika karta. Buddhir bedam trideschaiva gunada trividham shruno prochyamanamasheshena prudaktvena dhananjaya. Now, in this shloka, that is from shloka 29, Bhagavan Sri Krishna is explaining to Arjuna about the three different types of intellect, buddhi, and the three different types of firmness, dhruti. So, Bhagavan is telling about the first about the three types of buddhi. That is also based on the gunas, and he is telling that in the next shloka, shloka 30, Bhagavan says, प्रवृत्तिञ्च निवृत्तिञ्च कार्याकार्ये भयाभये बन्धं मोक्षं च या वेत्ति बुद्धि सा पार्थ सात्विकी. This is a very famous shloka, often quoted by many acharyas in many situations. A person who knows about the right path of work. So when we select a work, we must have a very clear path about it, very clear way how we should do that work. We must have at least a basic idea of it, or otherwise we cannot proceed further. So when we begin a work, we must have a very clear idea about how we are going to do that work. The people who are very clear about it, and nivritincha, they are also very clear about what all work should not be done, renounced, what all to be renounced. So when they are very clear about the path of the work or the work they are doing, then automatically they will know what all to be avoided, renounced. Karya akarya, one who is very clear about what all the work to be done, and akarya, not to be done. They may know it from the scriptures, or they may know by their own experience, or by taking advice from others. Somehow they know what all work to be done, what all work not to be done. We can easily, to an extent, we can easily find it if we are not concerned about the result. if you are not concerned about the result of the action, because the result may go this way or that way. So many factors are involved in getting a result for a job or a work. So many factors are involved. So all that we cannot access. What we can do it, we can do any action to the maximum to our perfection according to our mind and buddhi. So only that is in our hands. So any work that should be done with complete determination, that will end in one day or other in good result only. So the people who know what all the work to be done and what all to be avoided, bhaya abhaya, they know about fear and fearlessness. This is a very big problem nowadays because people fear for so many unnecessary things, and they do not fear for something which is to be feared for. So, when we have knowledge, when we have a clear knowledge, we will know what all to be avoided. If we do that, what consequences will be there, consequences we have to face, like that we know. So, we will avoid that. We fear for that, and we will be fearless to do so many work or so many action. Bandham mokshancha. They are very clear about what the bondage and liberation. In what way, if we do the work, it will not bind us. So they have a very clear about it, a clear idea about it. A person who has this buddhi, which has a very clear knowledge about the path of work, what all has to be done, what all action or work has to be avoided, what he has to fear for, what is bondage, when he has all these ideas, then that intellect or that buddhi is said as satvika buddhi. Yaya dharmam adharmam cha karyam cha karyameva cha ayathavat prajanati buddhi sa partha rajasi. A person who do not know about what is dharma and what is adharma, because he is not interested in reading the scriptures or going attending any of that spiritual way of life. So he do not know about what is the dharma and adharma, and he is completely not aware of what to be done and what not to be done. He know only about the profit and the result of that work. He is only concerned about it. Whether it is dharma or adharma to do the work, he is least concerned about it. That type of a passionate intellect, that buddhi, which only see the result, do not see about dharma or adharma or the ordained actions or not, nothing. They see only the profit. That type of intellect or buddhi is said as the Rajasika Buddhi, which is very common nowadays. Adharmam dharmamitiya manyate tamasavruta sarvarthan viparidhamscha buddhi sa partha tamasi. What is more worse is wrong judgment, that is taking the dharmic action as adharma and considering the adharma as dharma. So that viparita buddhi, that buddhi which see dharma as adharma and adharma as dharma, that type of buddhi is said as the tamasika buddhi. And some people they do some wrong and they say that I am doing it because only by this way I can support my family. So I'm doing something dharma to support my family, and they do all type of wrong action. They may not know about it, or they have imagined in their mind that this is dharma. So all that viparita buddhi, taking dharma as adharma, adharma as dharma, that is said as the tamasika buddhi. At least the rajasika buddhi people, they do not know what is dharma and adharma. This type of people, that is the tamasic people, they consider adharmic act as dharma and the dharmic act as the adharma. So they follow the wrong path, completely wrong path, and they have this perverted intellect. So all the type of buddhi is said as the tamasika buddhi. Bhagavan is telling all this not to condemn anyone or to tell ill about anyone. Bhagavan is telling that when a person has this type of knowledge or buddhi, they have to upgrade it to the next higher level. Now, Bhagavan is telling about the three different types of firmness, dhriti. Dhritya yaya dharayate mana pranendriya kriyaha yogena vyabhicharinya dridhi sa partha satviki. So, that firmness, a person who is determined to complete the action, steady determination, firmness, and one who controls the mind, mana, pranendriya. Mana, that is the mind, one who control or restrain the mind, prana, and the senses by yoga, by the yoga practice of yoga. By that, it is very easy to control the mind, prana, and the senses. A person who has that firmness, who is completely dedicated and unswearing dedication and firmness in performing any action, that type of firmness, dhruti, is said as सात्विक धृति यया तु धर्म कामार्थान् धृत्या धारयतेऽर्जुन प्रसंगेन फलाकांक्षी धृति सा पार्थ राजसी. So that firmness or determination for the result of the action, not for the action, but for the profit or the gain or the result of the action. One who has a steady firmness of dedication towards the result of the action, not for the action. That type of firmness to earn money, wealth, or to enjoy the pleasures, when he is so passionate about it, he will definitely have determination to enjoy all that. So, that type of firmness is considered as Rajasika Dhritihi. Yaya swapnam bhayam shogam vishadam matameva cha na vimuchyati durmedhaha dhriti sa partha tamasi. A person who do not have that determination or not determined to complete anything, they will leave it half work. Then they will say it's too hard, I cannot do it, or they will be bored of it, so will they leave it halfway. So that type of unsteady firmness, unsteady determination. Then swapnam. Swapnam is always sleeping. They when they sit, they sleep. When they lie on the bed, immediately they will sleep. That type of alasyam, always daydreaming, too much of sleep. Bhayam, fear for anything and everything, because they are not clear about what it is or how they have to do that work. When we are not clear about something, then we always fear to do it. So that bhayam, always shokam, always in a state of worry, thinking about something past, or so much worried about the future, but they do not do anything in the present to avoid it, but only worrying, always worrying about when someone tell them knowingly or unknowingly a word of insult, then they will consider it as big thing and make a big fuss about it. Vishadam, always in despair, desperate, depression, always in a very bad state of mind. Then madham, completely confused, taking too much of pride in everything. They may not do perfect work, but they want everyone to appreciate it. So, that type of too much of pride, self oriented. So, they are not clear about what work they have to do. That people are durmeda, they are not dull witted, we say. They do not grasp anything soon. So that type of buddhi or that type of firmness, not determined to do anything completely. They will do if it comes okay or not, they will leave the work halfway itself. If they do not find the situation favorable, then they will leave that work itself. They will abandon that work itself and again go back to that lazy way of life. Or they may be lazy, they are not interested in completing that work. So, all these type of firmness is said as tamasika dhritihi. So that people who have this tamasic dhriti, they may not be able to complete anything or go into any field of work. So these are the three types of karma, action, the three types of karta, doer, the three types of buddhi, intellect, and the three types of dhriti, firmness. So I take a break now and continue with the rest of the shlokas in this chapter in my next upload. Yatra yogeshwarah krishnah yatra partho dhanurdharah tatra shrir vijayor bhuti dhruvani tirmatir mama. Om Shri Krishnarpanamastu.